That's going to be a keeper, isn't it? Hello everyone. I guess over the past 2 years there's been really a couple of purchases that have helped me come to grips with my photography and also with the YouTube channel. The first is the acquisition of the little DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which has been absolutely fantastic. And then the other purchase, which I made in June of 2023, so it's coming up to 2 years since I purchased the little Olympus Pen F, which, let's be honest, if you subscribe to the channel, you will already know my thoughts about this little camera. It's been absolutely terrific for me. I love it to bits, and I thought it was about time that I gave you my opinions on it in full after 2 years of use. Build quality is absolutely fantastic, but the main reason why I swapped from full frame to micro four thirds, because of my heart condition and all the rest of it, I wanted something much more compact. Micro four thirds you cannot beat. Some of the bodies admittedly are as big as you can get with certainly crop sensor cameras and indeed some full frame cameras. The OM1s, and in particular the Panasonic Lumix, the G9 or whatever it is these days, they're big, quite bulky bodies, but really it's the lenses that make the difference. They are so compact by comparison. It's just crazy, really. So that was my reason for swapping to micro four thirds, in particular the compact nature of the lenses, and there are so many that you can choose from, both autofocus and manual. Now, it's a 9-year-old camera, so don't forget that, but for me, someone who does not do fast action sports photography, does not do a lot of macro work, and doesn't really do an awful lot of landscape work. I do a funny mixture of photography. The Pen F is fantastic. It's much more compact than the EM1, and obviously if I were to upgrade, it's equally compact compared to the OM Systems OM1. Don't get me wrong, I would like an OM1, I would like an OM3. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of the Pen F though. It is just beautiful. It's so good to use, and as I've said, the build quality leaves nothing to be desired. Well, there's one caveat to that, and the only sort of flimsy thing on it, which I have mentioned before, is the battery compartment cover, which is plastic. The rest of the camera is solid metal. For some reason, Olympus have gone with a plastic battery cover. It's 20 megapixels, so it's sharing the same sensor as my EM1 Mark II, but from a practical point of view, for a photographer like me, it's a no-brainer. This is more than enough camera for the kind of photography that I do. The features, well, I will go through them in detail with you. I'm going to walk around and find some other spots from which to explain the details of the camera, and I'll put some stills up for you. It has a fully articulating screen. Turn it on and you might even be able to see yourselves on the screen there. But it is actually a touch screen, and I can take photographs, as you probably heard it then. If I simply touch the screen, it will take a photo. Like so. That's going to be a keeper, isn't it? Another beautiful benefit with the Olympus cameras is the super menu, which you access very easily. I thought this might be the easiest way to give you a quick tour of the super menu, as I call it. Not quite sure if that's the official designation or not, but all you do is press the OK button in the middle of the pad on the back, and it brings up really the main settings that you're ever likely to want to change. So at the moment it's on the focusing area, so we can select that and then move it wherever we want to. With it being touch screen, you can put it wherever you want to suit your particular preference. Now, if you're interested in changing the look of your JPEGs anyway, without using the creative dial on the front, you have several controls. You have the main setting for your color balance, if you like, or vivid or natural colors. I always leave mine set to natural, and then you can increase your contrast, sharpness. I leave these on 0. I don't over sharpen anything. If I need to do that, I'll do it in software afterwards. And you can change the curves, shadow adjustment, graduation for high key, low key, etc. And then let's go back to norm. And then if I use the toggle switch up here underneath the main command dial, you can see that we can change the curve, shadows and highlights. We can alter to our heart's content. You've got infinite adjustments to your normal shooting arrangement without even choosing anything on the creative dial on the front of the camera here. So with regard to the art filters, it gives you a list down here, as you can quite clearly see. All the various ones, dramatic tones, monos, cross-processing, you name it, they're all in there really. Suffice to say that you can adjust this camera to your heart's content. The flexibility is just crazy. Will most people use that amount of flexibility? And have I used that amount of flexibility? The answer is probably no. I certainly haven't. But nevertheless, for some people it might be just what they're looking for. I tend to shoot everything in both JPEG and RAW, so I've got both to fall back on. But some of the JPEG settings I really love. Let me know what you think when you have a look at some of the ones that I've taken over the past 2 years or so. But right now I'm going to take a break, put the camera onto my wrist, put the Osmo Pocket 3 away, and then see if I can take some photographs while I'm out today. It's hazy sunshine today. We've gone through a few days of very hot weather here. It's nice and warm today, but for a change we've got high and hazy clouds, so the lighting is not quite as striking and contrasty as it has been. Not sure how long it is since these Bowling Green huts have been used. They look very dilapidated, don't they? Perfect photo opportunity for me. So let's get the Pen F out and see what we can get. Just need to come back slightly, I think, to get it all in. It would be crying shame to cut off some of it. At least that's what I'm thinking. I'm underexposing by 1/3 of a stop here. And I think I will do one on just this centre section. You can tell the youngsters come down here at night Oh yes, that's quite nice. Let's do an upright of that. Yeah, that'll do. Such a shame, because they've even been riding bicycles across the bowling green. Now, it's not a camera which is ideally suited for zoom lenses. I'm not the only person to think that. I think DP Review, when they first reviewed it, maybe 9 years ago when it first came out, said the same thing. It's not a camera which is well suited to large, heavy zoom lenses. My 12 to 40 2.8 Pro, for example, on this would look silly, and the 100 to 300 would look even more ridiculous. But that's the main reason why I prefer to use it with primes. At the moment, you can see it with the 17mm 2.8 Zuiko on there. So the other lens that I bought with me today is the 60mm 2.8 from Sigma, which again has been a fantastic little lens for me. So I've got a 14mm 2.5 Lumix and the 6mm from Lauer, as well as beautiful 25mm 1.4 Leica Summilux, which is standard 50mm equivalent, of course, on micro 4/3. But that gives me 120mm, which is plenty enough reach for the kind of photography that I do. Throughout the video, I'll be putting up examples of JPEGs taken over the past 2 years in various different locations. I'll show you some that were taken using the creative art filters. Now, most of them are they're very much personal preference. They're Marmite, you'll either love them or hate them. The ones that I like most probably is the Keyline and Dramatic. So what I'm going to try and do now is to take a photograph using the Keyline filter, just to show you the kind of effect that it gives. That's Keyline 1, and just so you've got a comparison, I'm going to do one in Vintage 3, which should emulate old out-of-date film, I think, really, or even a faded print, who knows. And then let me do one in mono, no filter. That's another advantage with the mono settings. You can choose from your normal traditional selection of monochromatic filters: yellow, red, orange, etc. As you can tell, the sun has come out and we've now got really strong shadows. But nevertheless, Japanese garden here in Calderstones is just a marvellous place to come. So I guess the question is, after 2 years of use, do I like it? The answer is unequivocally yes. Is it perfect? No, because no camera is perfect. Let's be honest about it. However, it's as near perfect as I've found for the last 30 or 40 years, and that's saying something. Micro Four Thirds is not going to be for everybody. It will forever be criticised for noise and dynamic range capability, but I'm being completely honest here. When you are talking about someone like myself who posts images on YouTube, on Instagram, then all that really doesn't matter. It's what goes on in here that determines whether this is any good or not. I could invest in a Leica, one of the SLs, or any one of their current hugely expensive digital cameras. Would that make me a better photographer? Now, the honest answer is that maybe for a week or even a month it might do. Why? Because it will invigorate me. There is something good about getting hold of a new camera, a different camera, because it will, by the very nature of that fact, give you added inspiration. Will it change how you see the world using your eyes? The answer is probably no. But overall, it's definitely a case of the creative mind being the deciding factor in any kind of photography. I don't care what it is. There might be some aspects of commercial and industrial photography where quality to the nth degree is the critical factor. But in the kind of photography that I and probably 95% of you out there do, it's of secondary importance if you think about it. So the Pen F, it gives me the creativity that I require. It's a solidly built camera. As those of you that have looked into a Pen F will probably know, there isn't a single visible screw head anywhere on the camera body. It's single card slot, which again gets criticised an awful lot. Although interestingly, I noticed that the new OM3 didn't get any criticism for that. And there are other cameras now with single card slots that have just come out which don't get slated. Perhaps times are changing. It's never ever been an issue for me. Battery life is fine. I've got 2 batteries which I use all the time. One is original OEM Olympus battery, the other one is a third party. It has depth of field preview, something which quite a lot of cameras have done away with in recent times. I'm going to post a selection of images probably from here to the end of the video which illustrate what kind of photography I do and what I have done over the past 2 years. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoy some of those images. They're not going to be to everybody's taste. I fully appreciate that. You, I hope, will make decisions on the creative ones. When I say creative, I mean the filtered ones done in camera. Some of them work very well, others are very gimmicky, let's be honest with you. Until the next time though, you make sure you enjoy your photography, whether you use a Pen F or Micro Four Thirds or full frame. Just get out, use your gear and improve your creative mind. Take care, bye for now.